the themes are amplified in the film. For example, Nancy's character doesn't exist in Sanel's short story. There are other characters that appear in the film that will expand the duration of the short story to make it a feature film. The short story is only about 30 pages long. But in the film, the screenplay goes deeper into the subjects that are presented in the short story. For example, Rosa is a character who lives in the margins of society. She practices certain religions that are not very accepted in Cuban culture. So the idea is to expand the theme of participating and being accepted, but not only regarding sexual preferences or gender identity, but other aspects of society as well, as religion or the black market.
Que hacía Juan Carlos Tabío de la manera de trabajar distinta totalmente.
So what else can you say? What else can you say about Tabío's working methods that is different from other Cuban directors? In general, Cuban directors don't shoot that much. So for them, the moment of filming the film is too important. So they are too prepared when they reach the sets, and everything is thought out and decided. So you have to know a lot about film to improvise in the sets. So that's how Titon and Tabío work. Understanding that directing is especially awakening that feeling of being creative in everyone around you. And probably Tabío learned it from Titon, but developed it in his own way. So he was a very warm director. So that's what was very, very special about and very unique about the director, about Tabío. So now that we're surrounded by screenwriters, it's important to say that it has to do with feeling safe with the story, that, to keep the story safe from the passage, from the page to the stage, so the actors could participate in that, in keeping the story safe. So he trusted the actors very much in doing that. He felt safer with the actors safeguarding the themes of the screenplay on the sets. So welcome, Pichi. He's filming right now. He just finished shooting. So he was very eager to be here in time. So Pascal was asking what was really special and different in the way Tabío directed. So you feel in the films that there's like, the theater is very present in these films. So she's asking if this kind of a code, the narrative code from the theater, comes from the screenplay, or if it comes from Tabío and the way he directed in the set, or if this is something that you had in mind when you were writing the script.
¿A quién lo preguntas?
Eso es para Blau o para Pichi.
Libertad total.
Bueno, para Pichi, que acaba de llegar.
For Pichi, who just arrived.
Directamente.
No, en el caso de Fresa y Chocolate, por ejemplo.
So in Strawberry and Chocolate, for example, it's a film that, rests on the actors. So the weight of the story is carried by the actors. And I think today in Cuba, we still, the directors still have time to do some table work with the actors, despite the fact that we had worked a lot before the shoot, when everything was clear in Titon's head regarding the actors, which was the first thing he worked on every day on the set. Then the camera would come in and he decided the shots depending on the work with the actors.
So
Strawberry and Chocolate the first film you made with Tabío?
Puedes decir que hay un antes y un después de Fresa y Chocolate.
So for you, there's a before and after. And how did that affect your career after Strawberry and Chocolate?
Yo creo de nosotros, pues,
I think in both our cases,
como tú lo planteas, un antes y un después, porque
it
por ejemplo,
was, it changed everything.
lo que hacía era teatro en aquella
Because
época.
before that, I used to do mainly theater. And I had worked a bit on television.
Mediometraje.
I had even made a short film.
O sea, fundamentalmente mi trabajo era en el teatro y después de Fresa y
But
Chocolate.
I worked mainly in the theater, and then after Strawberry and Chocolate, then I had many opportunities in cinema.
No por el tema de ser gay, sino
In Strawberry and Chocolate, there was some sort of
y
parallel between Diego as a gay character
y si durante, no tanto en la distribución, pero si durante la preproducción y la producción de la película, ya que es una película que tiene mucha carga antisistema, ¿pasó por algún tipo de censura o pasó por algún tipo de limitación la producción de la película?
So, especially talking about Diego's character, the gay character, he wants to know if during the production and the development of the film, if there was any pressure from the
Estás en España, lo puedes. No vamos a decir nada a Cuba.
Cuando Diego le dice a David, qué bonito eres, David, el único...
So when Diego tells David, you know, you're a very handsome man,
y David le responde, nadie es perfecto. Según me han dicho, a Tabío le gustaba mucho ese final y bueno, el otro final de la...
Diego tells the other character that, oh, I hear you're gay, and the other says, well, nobody's perfect.
El proceso de preparación de la película fue siempre complicado, ¿no? Y Titón, sobre todo, recibió
In
señales.
Strawberry and Chocolate, the process of preparing the film was quite complicated. And Titon, the first director, did receive some warnings that he had to be careful with the contents of the film. So a certain very important political figure in Cuba those days invited Titon for dinner in those days when he was preparing Strawberry and Chocolate.
Cosas que se conversan y no se dice nada y se dice todo. Entonces, en él, lo que le quedó claro es que
So
en la
what was
película
clear for Titon
no podían irse juntos a la cama.
is that there couldn't be a sex scene between Diego and David.
No fuera
It was
seducido.
fine for the gay character to appear, but there couldn't be a sex scene between the two men. Otherwise, there would be no film.
Justamente la película es la amistad entre dos diferentes. Entonces no tenía sentido ninguno hacer una relación amorosa, sexual, erótica entre ellos, porque eso Titón salió muy aliviado de aquella cena, sabiendo que él no iba jamás a transgredir ese límite, porque ese límite él mismo y
that's the warning from the government or from this politician was that there couldn't be explicit sex between the two men. But Titon was not worried about that because that's not what the film is about. The film is about the friendship between these two men.
Tenemos una pregunta justamente de Marie-Christine Cortés que dice que está muy feliz de escucharlos a los tres, que ella es una total fan de Fresa y Chocolate, lo vio en 1994 en Francia.
The story of when she first saw Strawberry and Chocolate in Paris in 1994, and then she saw the waiting lists. But unfortunately, she has the feeling that over the last few years, there are fewer and fewer Cuban films that are shown in Paris. So how can you explain that? So what's happening with Cuban cinema at this point?
Pichi.
bueno,
Lanzas.
sí, ha habido un decrecimiento importante de la producción.
There has been, there are fewer Cuban films right now that are being made, but I'm very hopeful.
Desde hace varios años ha ido, pasa en muchas partes. Durante mucho tiempo el cine cubano era el cine que producía el Instituto Cubano de Cine.
For a long time, Cuban cinema that was made was the cinema that was produced by the Cuban Institute of Film. But in the last few years, there's an independent, a new wave of Cuban films that are made with very few resources.
Ahí empezó una conflictividad que si la contamos necesitamos 7 u 8 horas para
So, to get into the details of all that, we need about 7 or 8 hours. So
Cubano de Cine. Afortunadamente, El año pasado
So fortunately, last year,
el Fondo de Fomento para el Cine Independiente.
so a new fund for independent filmmaking was started working, and it gives out an important amount of money for developing projects or to produce and to film first films.
Hay un grupo de películas diversas. Yo he tenido
So
la
there are
posibilidad de revisar
some
algunos de
films that are
ellos,
underway,
y hay un grupo de películas diversas, interesantes,
that deal with different
que han empezado a recoger
subjects,
un
very
camino
interesting
más abajo
topics
desde el cine independiente y con el apoyo del Fondo de Fomento.
that are still independent films, but with the support of this special fund that was created last year.
Comenzamos un taller de guiones.
So with Senel Paz, we started a workshop for developing screenplays.
Terminamos un taller con
And this is the second year.
proyectos,
And yesterday we finished the workshop with 6 projects
con reconocimiento
that are all that all have the support of this fund.
todos de directores y
And
guionistas.
all of these projects that we are working on right now in this workshop that Arturo mentions, they're all first-time filmmakers. They're very young writers and directors. There's only one of them who has made a film. So there seems to be an important group of people, of directors and screenwriters, even of technicians, producers, art directors, sound recordists, who are waiting for their opportunity. And I hope that that this fund, that everybody waited for this fund for many years, he hopes that it will renew Cuban cinema.
Con mucha delicadeza y que
Of course, we have to be ready for anything, but we hope that it will work out.